Hi, I'm Fred Believa. Welcome to tonight's Western Angler. Tonight we're at another demonstration, and we're at the Northern California Skippers Club. And I would like to introduce the president, Ed Sanis.
I'm Ed Sanis, president of Northern California Skippers Club. Tonight's demonstration will be on the striped bass fishing in the lower San Pablo Bay and upper Suisun Bay area. It'll be bullhead fishing and with mudsuckers. We have tonight one of our better fishermen in the club that does a lot of bullhead fishing up in this area. He's got a few 40-pounders to his record. And right now we're going to start the program, and he'll start his demonstration. I'd like to introduce Arnold Montero.
Thank you there, Mr. Santos. I'm going to try. Well, bullhead fishing is, everybody knows it, so they say. But there's a few methods that a lot of guys don't know, and I'm going to try to show you what I've been doing. This is my method, and I'll open that, and before I even start anything, I got a little secret juice that I usually put on, and that's all I use, just that much for the whole shebang. Then I'm going to take me a big old hook here, open it up, and this is what I do. This is my method. Take the bullhead out, and duck. And that's all over the fish. Pull the horns out. Where they got any, there they are. Ooh, that's a nice tough one. Get the other one off. A lot of guys use a threader, which is this thing. But myself, I'm used to threading it with the hook. Right up to that gill plate. A couple of half hitches. A lot of guys don't like half hitches. I never had no problem with them. I've had problem with them if I used to catch a nice fish and then continue using it. Then you're in trouble, like I did several months ago. A lot of guys have a different method of cutting it. Now I like the fan type, butchering my bullhead. Not a very good sharp knife, but it serves a purpose. I'm not very That's one of the methods I use. That's one of them. Just spray it, a hole just open up like a fan. But my knife isn't sharp. I thought it was, but it isn't. Get my rag here. Get another one. There's several different methods of, golly. I use most of the same method all the time, but different cuts on the head. There's another method. Just let that thing hang. I'll throw a half hitch on this one. Same way. Throw my half hitch. It's a little messy, but the messier the better. That's another method. See that? Okay, that's the bullhead now. Now we got a harness. A lot of people like to use harnesses that haven't been, they don't do much bullhead fishing with knobbies. Sometimes you can't get a knobby. Oh my goodness, this light is really something. You're not used to it, you get you. Push it back through, and then pull it back up again. And all you have is just that little, no, there's your, you can put it on the top, put them on the bottom. You cut the horns off the same way as the other ones. But I don't usually butcher these up at all. I'll use them whole. Just cut the horns off.
Pick up all three of them.
Okay, yes.
And explain each one of them.
What pound test is that on?
Pardon? This is 30-pound test Maxima. That's all I use. The 30-pound test Maxima. And this is knobbies. And I'll show you a knobby with no, I make my own. This is the one I made. It got no eyes on it. The knob is put in, well, you got to see it to believe it, how it's done. But 30-pound test line, it's snelled. It got no eye where you could go through the bullhead real easy where you won't have no problem. And that's the way it looks with no bullhead on. Here's the bullhead on a big hook, and it stand out. This is the one I've been using, for the last 3 years, I believe. This one here. And sometimes when you're out fishing and everybody finishes with their bait and they're finished with the day, what do? They throw their bait over. So once in a while, I will hook up a bullhead with nothing cut off and just hook it on with the head on, the horns on, and everything. And I'll usually catch a fish off of that because I figure if the guys throw their bait over and the fish been picking it up and going with it, that's what they'll do with these. And that's what I did, and the last time I went out fishing, that's what happened. I put one on, there's a big hook on a little knobby. I mean, a little knobby on a little dinky fish. But you could always fit it in there, see? There's no problem. There. And I'll just leave it just like that. No problem at all. Horn on it, not cut, not butchered, and that will catch a fish. Because the fish that are being caught and the guys that are fishing in the club, they're butchering them, they're putting stuff on them, and once in a while those fish like those with nothing on it. And they'll take it and they'll run with no nibbling. They'll just scream it out. So I don't know, I don't think I could go any further except This is a threader. Instead of using it like I did, oh, one more thing. We got little gobies. And a lot of fellas fish gobies live. And I'll start at the tail, and I'll just barely hit the skin. And I'll come out. And I hit the skin again. I'll tell you, a live one is much better than the full one than the dead one. I'll use right underneath the skin. I'm going a little too deep on this one, but then I'll go right underneath this gill plate again. Pull it back.
Arnold, what are you doing there?
What? I'm just going right underneath the skin. This is a live one. I'm keeping this one alive. This is alive.
You laced it all the way through it.
I laced it all the way through the skin, just the skin. And that thing will, if I put it in the water and nothing touches it or takes it, I'll bring it up and it'll still be alive. But you have to go just underneath the skin.
Do you put, if you're going to fish a live bullhead, you put a live bullhead
The same way. I'll do the live bullhead the same way. The live bullhead the same way. And there won't be no problem. It'll stay there. And when you finish, if it's still not taken, I'll take it apart and I'll release it and it'll swim away.
What's more productive, the live bullhead all the time or the cut bullhead?
This one, right here.
What'd you have to cut it like that?
I don't know. It's just that I've been cutting it, opening it into a fan, and I don't know. It's just producing more than the cut ones off the side of the head or the one like this. But this is one has been producing. That's what I've been, the last 3 years, 4 years, maybe longer. I've been using this one. I just cut on it. I just said, hell with it. I'm going to start cutting it. I just started cutting at the head, and I just opened it just like a fan, and it just works wonders.
What type of weight do you use that? How many ounce of weight?
Oh, that all depends on the tide. But when you use something big and you've got a tide going, you're going to have to use a little heavier weight because she's going to be pulling. Well, any questions?
The bite. What type of bite do you get on the when you're fishing? If a striper's going to pick up your bullhead, what's the bite look like, and what do you do?
Well, the first thing it does is usually you're watching, it'll just whack it. That's it. Most of the time, they'll whack it. And that's when you have to be on your toes, grab it, release the free spool, pick it up, and then she'll take off. If it'll take off and don't stop, you lock it up. But usually when it takes it and it goes, and it'll drop it. You still got a hold of it, and then it'll take off faster, and then it'll drop it. But that third time, he's gone. Lock it up, boom, that's it. Usually I got a tight drag on it all the time. And I mean, not a tight, I got my thumb on it, and the fish takes it from me. I don't give the fish the line, a loose line. I let the fish take the line from me. I don't want that, let it go, let it go, let it go. When I get a bite, and it's running on the third time, it'll go, and I'll just reach over, and that tip starts right down, and that's about as far as I'll get. About right there, and then she's screaming. I think you've seen it a few times.
What kind of weight setup do you hook up? Do you hook up
I got something that nobody else, there's a few guys, this is my sliding sinker. This is what I use. I'll put my weight on here. A lot of guys don't like it. I like it because I could take it off and I could go in the Grizzly Bay. I'll put that right on the line, and that's it. That's my sliding sinker. And when in Grizzly Bay, if I want no sinker, I'll unhook it, put it in my box, no sinker, just the bullhead. Let it go out and it'll drop down. That's all I use. I haven't got no red little deal going up and down. Yes, sir.
Is that usually only a slack tide when you throw a bait with no weight?
In Grizzly Bay, I don't hardly use no weight at all, anytime. In Grizzly Bay. No, only guy that's just and in fact, on a good moving tide, I could still live like a bullhead like that. I could lift it up, and I could still hit bottom.
You use very lightweight anyway.
Sometimes if I got a little bait, you know, and it'll stay right there.
What, 2 ounces, 4 ounces? Or?
1 ounce, half ounce, little weights, like so. That's it. I don't go nothing bigger than this in Grizzly Bay, because you only got about 5, 6, 7 foot of water, and it's not very fast moving water back in there. Not like it used to be. Not since they opened those canals.
What's the best time of the year to fish stripers up in that area, in the Suisun and San Pedro?
Well, I like the end of October, November. And then I'll come back again in maybe beginning of March, April, and May. May's a good month too, but that's far and in between. But when you catch a fish, you're going to catch a big fish.
That's day and night, or does it?
Well, both day and night. I've been up there in May. Me and Bud Evers from he's moved to Grass Valley, but March the 15th, I think we've got March the 15th, no, it's May the 15th. May the 15th, we limited out in nice fish up to about 29 pounds. And May the 15th.
Where can you fish at night and where can't you fish at night?
Well, you can't fish below the Carquinez Bridge. You cannot fish below the Carquinez Bridge at night.
So there's no night fishing in San Pablo Bay at all?
No night fishing. That's not saying that they don't do it, but there's no night fishing. There's no night fishing.
Tide.
Well, it all depends. I've had luck on outgo tide. They got big fish on outgoing tide, and I got big fish on incoming. It don't make no difference. It's when the fish is going to pass you and when the fish is going to pick it up. It's more luck than anything else. You're not going to catch a fish if there's no fish to be had. If no fish is going to pass you, you're not going to catch no fish. There's a lot of guys that have been finding that out this year.
Arnie, the size of hooks do not mean...
The size of the hook don't mean nothing. I could put just like I said here, I put a big hook in this little, and it don't make nothing. You're gonna, it's hooked up. You're gonna catch a fish.
You remember you were saying something about why when you cut the head like that, all the scent glands are on the head of the fish.
That's right. All of them. I don't know very much about it. Here's my scent. That's what I use, and that's a secret formula.
Can you tell us what it is?
It's a secret formula. See, there's no label on it. See, that's a secret. I'll tell you one thing. It got maybe a little anise in it. And it got sardine oil in it. And there's a bunch of different stuff in there, but it works. Believe me. It works. It really works.
Are these cut bullheads only for boat, or are they good for shore fishing too?
You could go anywhere you want to fish. Well, you could get a line out in the water. It's shallow water, don't make no difference, because I fished in where the motor's bumping on the bottom, and I've caught fish. So it don't make no difference where you throw that line. If there's fish in the area, you're going to catch them.
Why do you think this spring run was so bad up there in our area where we fished at Suisun and Grizzly area?
Well, I can't figure that one out, but I think since they put that barrier in Montezuma, it changed the course of the fish. I know a lot of guys that caught fish on the south side, up on Rodeo side, McAvoy side. There's a lot of fish being caught on McAvoy side, and not very many caught on our side, on Pierce's side. But I think that's because of the flow of the water. When there's no flow of the water coming down through Montezuma, you're not going to get the fish coming through up there. That's my theory. I don't know.
Can you show us one with the using the commercial threader there that you were going to show us? It's right down there in front of you. The needle?
Okay, sure will.
Can you, if you can, and using that?
Okay, I've got a little one here. So you can put this anywhere you want it. You can put it up through the top of the head. That's why I don't like to use this, because I'm so much faster just
But if
threading
somebody was
them.
going to do that, they can buy one of those that you have in your hand from the store, and that's just the way you would be using it.
Yeah, but you don't buy this from the store. I made this. I don't know where you could buy them. I have never seen one.
Oh, yeah, they got them.
They've got them?
Got the big shops, yeah.
Now, see, I don't have this. I don't have the strength.
Good day.
Who's who?
Yeah.
Hold on to that then.
So what you do, it has an open eye on the end, and you stick
Yeah, it's got a knife right here. See it?
Okay, go ahead.
No. Show it again.
Here we go.
I got it.
Okay.
See, I like my,
Bait smells good.
yeah, smells good.
We got to put a new bait shop over there.
See? Here's one right up on top of the head. Where do you get them?
That was a bait shop in Vallejo.
Big shop in Vallejo. Well, in fact, I made this just before I came home. This one, if you could see it, it's brand spanking new. I've got mine on the boat. It's always on the boat.
Do you prefer the larger bait or the smaller bait overall?
I like a medium-sized bait. But I will,
What do you mean by medium size?
oh, they're a lot bigger than these. Say about, about like that. But I will, if I had these, I would have them out.
That's it. Arnie.
I would have them out. But you don't get bait like this time of the year. You get what you can get. And most of it is, some of it's pretty small.
Arnie, is sardines that people are fishing with factories too up in the Delta?
What was that now?
Sardines. Are sardines good up in that area?
Oh, yes, it's very good. I had, 3 years ago, before I left here to go to the mountains, I went up to get my battery. Me and Don decided to go fishing, and Millie had some sardines. So I said, good deal. So I went over there, and I used my knobby, and I filleted a sardine. Then I turned it over, and I cut right down to the skin, and then turned it inside out, and I weighed it on the hook, put a half hitch on it just like I would a bullhead, threw it out, and I'd say about 10 minutes later, I hooked the fish, and 1.5 minutes later it was gone, along with all the line on my reel. So that's it.
They've been using
They're good.
They've been using split tails up there now. Have you used split tails?
Yes.
What a split tail is.
A split tail actually is a Sacramento pikey.
What's it look like?
It's they got a split tail. I can't explain it to you. If I had one, I'd show it to you. But they're split tail, and they have they're hard fish. They're real hard fish. You just putting a hook into it. It's real hard. But the guys that have been going out there using them, what we've been having are about this big. So you have to cut them down. So my fishing partner cut it down, and he used one of those pretty good-sized hooks. In fact, it was given to him by one of the club members here.
Is it a freshwater bait?
It's a freshwater. As soon as all that fresh water started coming down from up above, that's when they moved into Suisun Bay.
And you have to
And
catch the bait yourself?
they catch the bait with worms. And we caught them in the harbor, and my fishing partner cut them up, and just a big chunk, cut the head and everything right off, put that big hook on it, threw it out, and he caught a 40-pounder. It was 46.5 inches long.
I got another question. How about shad?
Shad? Yeah, well, shad, if you could get some big ones, are nice, but you have to butterfly them. But you don't get the big fish on a shad down here in Suisun Bay like you would up at the river.
Okay. Well, what would be the maximum length of a shad?
Well, if I could catch a shad, I'd like to have a shad about like this, and they're not be in nice shape, but what we've been getting are little dinky things. Okay, it's about time.
I got one thing, if you're going to fish up in that Suisun area at night and stuff like that, you've got to make sure that you have a extra battery, a good anchor light, because you're going to be fishing out there all night, and there's a lot of boat traffic out there in the middle of the night, and be real careful what you're doing. It's safe. Everything is safe as long as everybody's got their anchor lights and nobody's running around in the middle of the night out there. It's around the mothball fleet in that area, and there's boats running back and forth. But make sure you have your fishing license, your anchor light, and you obey all the fishing regulations at night up there, because the length of the striper is 18 inches, and 2 per limit. Keep an eye out for fishing game. They're there all the time, so there'll be nothing to do anything wrong.
How many rods can you use?
Only one. Just one.
One rod per person up there in that area. If you're out in the ocean, you can fish whatever you want. But if you're fishing inside the Golden Gate Bridge, you're only allowed one fishing rod off the boat. Now the piers, local piers, sometimes you can fish with 2 rods. There's no problem. But if you're in a Suisun area, make sure you got 1 rod out and your bullhead and a good anchor light, and especially if you're an extra battery, and to have radio communications, because there's guys out there all the time. They usually run channel 14. The guys fishing in that area. So if you have a dead battery or something, somebody will make contact for you to get out in the middle of the night. And another thing to watch out there is the wind. It's an awful windy area. The wind can come up very fast. And the best thing to do is just tuck into one of the sloughs. Get yourself familiar with the area where the sloughs are. And so if the wind does come up, you've got a plan to get yourself up against the bank someplace or into a slough until the wind calms down. But 50% of the time you're going to get pretty good weather. You can handle it out there. But it's the spring run is your big fish. That's when your females are coming up. And the winter run is smaller fish, but there's a lot more fish.
I'd like to end the program right here, and I would like to thank the Skippers Club for inviting me to show you this demonstration on the live bullhead demonstration for stripers. And again, I'd like to thank Ed. Ed, thank you very much. It was a nice demonstration. And until next time, this is Fred Beliba wishing you good luck and good fishing to you.